And now, it's time for the Runnin' Rams Basketball Hour with Coach Jim Barron, presented by Rhode Joe's Saloon, legendary food and drink, and 920 WHJJ.
Welcome back once again to the Rhode Rams Hour here at Rhode Joe's Saloon. Rhode Joe's Saloon, legendary food and drink. Great deals every night. Find out what's happening. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Rhode Joe's Saloon. Now, we asked Bill Reynolds about his Facebook participation. He was a non-participant. Steve McDonald, non-participant. Kev Clark?
Let's make it 3, Steve.
The 3 old guys, all non-participants. How about the young guy at the end of the table? You got to be Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Probably like 100% of the students at URI Facebook.
Yeah, I don't like it that much. I mean, it can get you into trouble. So I'm not really on there that much, honestly.
Okay. Now, do you tweet or Twitter or whatever it is you're supposed to do?
No, I've never been on Twitter.
Kev, I'm going to assume.
No, I don't, Steve. Just got emailed down.
Isn't John Calipari on Twitter?
Is he really?
I think he is.
No kidding. Hey, Kev Clark is with us, assistant coach for the University of Rhode Island, and Will Martell, the starting center for URI as well. But a nice round of applause. Both these guys coming around. Kev, you clapping for yourself or you clapping for Will?
For Will.
Okay. URI coming off a nice win against Charlotte on Saturday, getting ready for the Massachusetts win. And Will, I'll throw the first question to you. You guys have a couple of days off here. The day off, the day after the game off, and now a couple as well as you try to rejuvenate yourselves a little bit for the stretch run. I'm sure it's much appreciated, first of all, from the coaching staff being able to throw you a couple of days off, but also something that's much needed on this basketball team as it stands right now.
Yeah, I think this is our first 3 days off in 4 days that I've ever had since I've been here. I needed it. I know, a bunch of guys did. I mean, Marquise played 45 minutes. Nick played 42. I saw Nick in the ice bath right after the game, so he's feeling it.
Still there, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like I'm in my 50s right now. I'm just, my body's just about done. So, yeah, I think everyone needed it.
It makes the 50s sound like it's old, We're coming up on those years, man. Kev, talk about the rationale behind it. You've got a team poised for very, very important games in a very jammed up Atlantic 10 right now. And a great opportunity to get them fresh legs.
No question, Steve. Most of our guys, I mean, obviously they're playing a lot of minutes. Our depth is not as great as it's been in the past. So our older guys, particularly Martell and
the 50-year-old, right?
Yeah, Marquise Jones and Delroy, need not only a physical break but also a mental break. And I think that the coaches also need a little time away.
Absolutely. It gives some of the coaches a chance to get out and do some recruiting and all, but you mentioned the mental part of it. I think that's an important part. What do you tell them? Do you say, hey, get out of the gym and stay away, or do they come in and get some shots up? What do these back-to-back days consist of for them?
Well, I think for them, they're really on their own. We tell them that the gym is available for them. I know saw quite a few of them in today getting some shots up, but it's a lot easier to come in and get shots up without the coaches there, pushing you into some things that you don't want to do. So,
Will, how have you chosen to spend your 2 days off? Do you take
I
quick trips to the Bahamas, or do you get some shots up?
No, I had to catch up on homework. I was up at 7 in the morning today finishing up some last-second homework for my 9:30 class. So I have not even gone in the gym yet today. I gotta figure out my homework before any of that.
Yeah, it's a little late now, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to handle it. Get away completely. We'll talk about this team at this stage of the year. This team has taken on some different paths along the way, but it seems with these last few games that you kind of put yourself in a nice position to make a stretch run and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people coming into the season had a lot of questions about us. I think I told Paul Kenyon earlier in the season that, we really were an unknown commodity. I don't think people knew what to expect from us from night to night. I think, people have seen a few guys stand out as the season progressed. Nick, Milesevich, and Delroy and Marquise, really stepped up. 3 of them. They've been sort of, the foundation. at the same time, we need all three of those guys to play well if we want to play well. So, while they've been having, great performances, I think we need more help from the supporting cast. Me, Ryan, Akeem. More guys need to play better consistently for us to not have up and down games like Charlotte, like Dayton. Where we're back and forth the whole game. If we want to have a really solid game, we'll need solid contributions from everybody.
Coach Clark, when you look at this team, if you could wave the magic wand and take one statistic and improve it on this basketball team, an area of the game that you would like to see them from here on in perform at a higher level, where would it be?
Steve, I'm going to look at shot selection. Mm-hmm. We've been taking a lot of three-point shots, and that's not really our strength. And I'd like to see us take a few less threes and get some ball reversal, do a better job presenting better shots and actually getting the ball inside a lot more.
We were talking earlier when Jim was on about Nick's ability to get inside, a little more back to the basket, even just facing up from 10, 12 feet out rather than be strictly a three-point shooter. That's the type of game that's evolved for him, and it seems to work very well.
Well, and that's what I think we want to do as much as possible, is try to get not only Will and the other bigger guys in the post, but to run our guards, our bigger people into the post, and Nick and even Jamal Wilson and Delroy a little bit into the post action.
Will
score around the rim.
Will, earlier in the year, you and Marquise had that pick and roll working pretty well, and now people are onto you a little bit. They don't let you go in there all alone anymore, so things are a little more difficult in that regard. But did you give Nick any pointers when he decided that he was going to get that ball back to the basket a couple of times?
I don't know. I didn't know we had a post game until the Charlotte game. He made a nice little lefty hook, either this game or against Dayton. I was pretty impressed. But yeah, I mean, Nick works hard at his game. He's got a natural feel for it. One of the best shooters I've seen. He's no Jimmy Barron, but he's a pretty good shooter. I think Rhode fans will be really happy with his development over the next 2 years.
Early in the year and throughout the year, rebounding has been a concern for this basketball team, and it's been one of the areas that you can almost mark the season's wins and losses by the rebounding balance between you and your opponent. And, Will, I saw a noticeable difference in the second half of this year in your aggressiveness to the basketball. And it seems as though it's a different approach than you had at the season's start. Talk about the responsibility that you feel is on your shoulders to be a 5, 6, 7 rebound a game guy on a consistent basis.
Well, just to clarify, I did have my 2 double-doubles of the year in the beginning.
The competition's getting a little tougher, and you're responding to it.
All right. Well, yeah, it
was a good CYO team we played, but
well, yeah, I noticed the same thing. I don't look at my stats anymore. I was really enamored with all that. I'm in the paper when I was a sophomore, junior. I don't know my stats right now. I don't look at them, but I do look at my stats after the game, and losses like UMass, LaSalle. I know I had 2 rebounds at UMass, 3 rebounds at the most. You're right. When I don't rebound well, Delroy is a really consistent rebounder. When I don't rebound well, when Ben doesn't rebound well, guys like that, even Nick, we tend to have a harder time winning games. So I do know that that's one of my primary jobs on the court is to get offensive rebounds and to get stops on defense. And
I've been impressed with your aggressiveness in the second half of the year and doing throughout the year, but an added intention to that's helped this team. They've won the rebounding battle the last couple of times out. You mentioned UMass. You both were part of that the trip to Amherst not too long ago, and now you get a second chance at those guys on Saturday afternoon. Kev, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to you. What do you take away from that loss in Amherst to the University of Massachusetts? What do you take away from that? Take it back to the practice floor, and then eventually to Saturday afternoon's game.
Really focused. Our focus defensively needs to be there. I thought we had some lapses in our game and in Amherst. So I think if we can get ourselves to focus a lot more on our assignments, and obviously, and it's another ball game where we took quite a few three-point shots. I think we took about 17 in the first half. So shot selection will be pivotal in that game.
Will, what do you take? What do you remember from that one that will help you prepare for this one?
Yeah, I mean, going off what Coach Clark said, I believe in the beginning of the game we were down 15-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
They went on a great run, and during that whole period, we weren't focusing on defense. And I'm no coach, but I'm sure Coach Clark could tell you. We have games where you can tell that some of the guys on the team they're not focused, and it's up to me, Delray, Marquise, as well as some of the other guys to get everyone ready for the game, and to realize the importance of these late season matches, especially against a rival like UMass, to really get up for the game and focus, especially defensively, because we do have our lapses.
Yeah, the last couple of games coming from behind, halftime deficits, makes it exciting at the Ryan Center for sure, and some great finishes, but digging that hole eventually is going to come back to get you a little bit, and getting that early start, Kev, and being competitive in those first 10 minutes of basketball, pretty important stuff.
No question, Steve, and I think this team has survived a couple of these outings, and I think we're on the right track right now. I think you'll see better ball movement from us coming up against UMass. I mean, I think you'll see a different team early, a lot more energy.
That sounds like a great thing. It's a 2:00 game on Saturday at the Ryan Center. We hope everybody can get out and see it. A great matchup between two teams that are jockeying for position in the Atlantic 10. Xavier at the top of the league at 9-1. Temple, Richmond, and Duquesne coming in next. 9-2 for Temple and Richmond. Duquesne at 8-2, and then Rhode Island in that fifth spot. Picked to finish fifth this year. Right now, solidly in the fifth spot at 7-4. And GW, UMass, and Bonaventure, the next to be in that second tier. 6-5 for GW, UMass at 5-5, Bonnie's at 5-5 as well. So if Rhode Island goes and is able to take care of business against the University of Massachusetts, you get a split in that head-to-head, and you push them down further. Rhode Island looks very, very good to have that home game and a pretty favorable seed in that first round of the Atlantic 10 tournament, and a good chance to head off to Atlantic City and try to get things done there. We're going to take a break at Rhode Joe's Saloon. We'll be back in just a moment. A little more with Kevin Clark and Will Martell. You're listening to the Runnin' Rams Basketball Hour at Rhode Joe's Saloon. Back in a bit.